A former U.S. Senator is looking back at the place he says shaped his life in Northwest Arkansas. Tim Hutchinson's new memoir takes readers through highs and lows of his life and career, from a small farm near Gravette to Washington, D.C. 5 News anchor Morgan Wrigley reports he says the stories in the book begin with its Arkansas roots.
Before Washington and the U.S. Senate, for Tim Hutchinson, there was Spavinaw.
It's funny because people say, they don't know how to say it, and they sure don't know where it is, but it makes for an interesting story, and it sure had an impact on my life. Spavinaw was the banks of the Spavinaw Creek in outside of Gravette, Arkansas.
In his newly released memoir, Hutchinson describes his early years in rural Benton County, spent adventuring and exploring on his family's farm with his brother Asa.
It was idyllic, and I could wish for every youngster to be able to grow up on a 250-acre farm with creeks and springs and caves.
At the time, Gravette was home to fewer than 1,000 people.
We grew about everything. We were poor, and it was rural. It was truly rural Arkansas in the 1950s.
Hutchinson says he never imagined where that childhood would lead, but he remembers at least one person who may have seen something in him.
My third grade teacher, Mrs. Miller, in the Gravette Elementary School, she may have seen potential, but no, I never envisioned running for office, much less being in the United States Senate.
But that's exactly where he ultimately landed. In writing the memoir, he says he wanted to tell the whole story, the successes and the failures.
I don't gloss over, and I didn't edit out my failures or my defeats or my challenges. It was faith that carried me through.
There's one message he says he hopes everyone takes away from the book.
A kid from Gravette, Arkansas, population 894 back in those days, can do anything in America, that there is no limit.
Coming back to Northwest Arkansas now gives him a chance to see just how much the place that shaped him has changed.
The growth, the explosion that has occurred is really beyond description. It's breathtaking.
Even with that growth all around it, Hutchinson says the farm and Spavinaw Creek will always feel like home.
It's changed, it's divided up and everything, but it's still beautiful, and the creek still flows.
In Gravette, covering news where you live, Morgan Wrigley, 5 News.